Hi everyone, my name's Lucianne and I'm the Front Porch Knitter. Welcome to all my returning viewers. I really appreciate it. We've had a little boost in subscribers recently, so there's lots of new people. Welcome to you as well. And yeah, kind of exciting. I'm glad you're here. I am coming to you sans makeup. I did brush my hair. You're welcome. It's kind of how my day's going. It's kind of how my entire fall is gone. Last time I chatted with you, I was on the East Coast. I'd gone down for a funeral. My parents live in New Brunswick, and it's beautiful there, and I'm happy to spend time with my parents. Although when I left here, I hadn't planned to be there for a month, which is pretty much what happened. And I also didn't plan to have COVID. And I kept testing positive. My parents gave it to me, so fear not. I was being very careful, but somehow I ended up with it too. Asymptomatic, everything was fine. My parents are fine. Yeah, just, one of those things. And I keep thinking, oh, I have to sit down and record. I have to sit down and record. I'm not home very much. I just feel like I'm all over the place, busy doing things. Some of it's about my job. Some of it's about my other job. I support some individuals in the community who just need a little bit of help with some things, and a couple of young women who I love spending time with. One of them's a knitter, so that's always great. So yeah, that takes up time. Just life in general. But now I'm home, and it is December 21st, and I can't imagine how all those wonderful podcasters are doing Vlogmas, because I'm thankful if I can record every 6 weeks. And sometimes it doesn't even happen that often. So, yeah. And also, when my life is crazy, apparently I shop more. So there's quite a lot of acquisitions sitting here on my table. There's also lots of knitting. And there's lots of finished objects. And a few people commented that, and messaged me saying, wow, I had a lot of knitting. And, you have to remember, everyone's life is different. I literally have knitting with me just about everywhere I go. And some of my support role is time spent in waiting rooms, waiting for people, or sitting in my car, waiting for people. I'm knitting when that's happening. So we all do our own thing, and we do it how we do it, which is great. And don't compare yourself to me. Because, yeah, I may have lots of time to knit, but there's all kinds of other things that aren't getting done. My kitchen counter, I had 30 people for lunch on Saturday, still has stuff on it, or not Saturday, Sunday, still stuff on it from Sunday, because I just haven't put it all away yet, because that's not my priority. And I love to knit, so I do, and that's how my life works. Anyway, let's get started with the nitty bits. So I don't think I've shown these since they were finished. I know I showed them in progress. This is just a little pair of socks. And these are done with an Estelle twin sock. And I wanted to try it because I do like to try commercial yarns and things that are a little more accessible. And also because I just wanted to try it, and that was fine. I will say I found this yarn quite splitty, but that may be because I use sharper, I use Chowgu red lace needles for my socks. These would have been done on Magic Loop, and they are a bit pointier than, if I was using, say, bamboo or wood, but that's okay. I wound out this dark color to use in the heels and toes, and then started so that it would be more continuous. And they're okay. I don't love the way the color faded. There's a few things I don't love about them, but you know what? They're perfectly good socks. And inside my boots, no one's gonna know, my feet will be warm. And I am keeping these for myself because, I don't love them, so I wouldn't pass them on to someone else. But they were fun to make. And you know what? In a different colorway or something like that, go for it, because it's really a nice bit of a workhorse yarn. Feels really nice, which is great. The next socks I finished, these are amazing. And I don't know if you can still get this. I had to search a little bit to find it. So this also is an acquisition. On my way home from New Brunswick, if you've never done this and you're going on a road trip, you need to do it. If you go into Ravelry, and I can't remember where in Ravelry exactly it is, I think it's by when you go into yarn shops or yarn or somewhere like that, you can put in your route and say how far off your main route you want to go. And I think I put 10 kilometers, and it will plot every yarn shop along the way. Like, it's amazing. I'm pretty sure my husband wouldn't appreciate it, but he wasn't with me, so I could do whatever I wanted. So when I was driving back from New Brunswick, I did stop at a couple of yarn shops, and you will see more of those things in a minute. But this is West Yorkshire Spinners, Gingerbread and candy canes, gingerbread colorway. I don't think I have the label here. And this is a 64 inch or stitch is how I did these. And these ones I think were done on my flexi flips, my Addy flexi flips, so a 2.5. I'm just gonna slide you back a tiny bit. So that's this. And because you know, every once in a while I do insane things. From the other end of the yarn, I wound off and spit spliced together sections of each of the opposite colorways to do the toes. And the heels, I spit spliced the gingerbread together to do that, the gingerbread color. And they start opposite, and you probably can't see that, but one starts with the red stripe and the other starts with the green. I'm the only person who's ever gonna notice that, right? Like, one of my boys is getting these socks. He'll notice the toes are different colors, but he's never gonna notice that I started them opposite at the top. But I did. And you know, it's kind of cool. So those are fun. My boys, like, these are way too big for my blockers. The blockers are my foot size. My boys have size 11 and size 12 feet. So yeah, it's okay. So those are fun. I really like this colorway, and it knit up really nice, and I like the size of the stripes. Like, it's just a nice, and it's subtly Christmas, right? With the gingerbread and candy canes, like, it's not too in your face. So I really like those. Those were fun to knit. And then, because everybody was, and you know, I'm not, like, I wouldn't consider myself a person who just jumps on bandwagons, but these were gorgeous. And this was perfect car knitting. I did the Sophie shawl. So not the Sophie scarf, which is like a neckerchief almost, but I did the Sophie shawl, which I can't show you the whole thing, which is much more like a big cozy scarf. And I just love this wool. And you know what? Look at the Tweety blips. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's squishy and soft, and this is a Christmas gift that needs to it has to actually go in the mail. I know, December 21st, and I have Christmas gifts that still need to go in the mail. Don't worry about it. It's a thing I'll do. I love the I-cord edging. I made a mistake when I was doing it, but I just kept making the same mistake throughout, so the only person who will probably know is me. It is just gonna be like a big, warm hug when they wear it. And I love it. And you know what's even better? This is what it's knit in. Paton's Classic Wool, which is, it just says 90% wool, 7% acrylic, and 3% viscose. And that's because this is the Tweety one. The regular one is 100% wool. But I think I used 3 and a tiny bit, and these are 100-gram balls, to do mine. And I wasn't paying really close attention to how many what my stitch count was and things like that. I sort of knit to how long I wanted it to be halfway, or where I sort of thought I was halfway through my 3 balls, and then started decreasing, not remembering, which I should have, that decreasing almost always uses a little bit more wool than increasing for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but yeah. So really, like the wool for this probably cost me less than $30, maybe even less than that. But I just love the way it turned out. And I know the person who's getting it will appreciate it. And it will be like a nice warm hug for them. So that will be very nice. So the next thing was a work in progress on my last episode, I'm pretty sure. And there were other works in progress along the way that have been, I don't have them finished to show you because they've been gifted or they're gone. One of them, you'll just see the leftover wool because it was an acquisition and it's a finished object and it's been gifted already. But I'll show you, when I show you it in acquisitions, I'll show you the wool and then I'll tell you about the project. This, I love. This is the Cedar pullover. I don't know how much of it you can see. I haven't got pictures of it on me yet, but it does fit really well. I find pictures on harder to do this time of year because it's not as easy to be outside and to get good light, but I'm pretty excited to be able to wear this in the spring. This is, I mean, I might wear it before then, I don't know, but this is a Joji Locatelli pattern, and I did it for her fall knit along. And I think in the last episode, I just needed to do the sleeves. I'm not sure. But I just love this little detail that incorporates the increases. It is a top down. And then it has this beautiful lace at the bottom. And I did lengthen the body slightly to make it a bit more tunic-y for me. Just to wear with leggings and things like that, because that would be my normal how I would wear it. And this is made with Cascade Hampton, which is 70% Pima cotton and 30% linen. And it is very soft. It was not hard on the hands to work with. I really liked it. I think I had to do a bit of adjusting because the weight of this isn't exactly, this is 100 grams is 250 meters, but I had to do a little bit of math because my gauge was off a bit. It seems a little finer maybe than the pattern called for, but I really like it. It's soft finished. It washed up really nicely and looks great now that it's had a little wash. And because I knew I was gonna have to do math, I do have a few, I think I have 2 extra skeins left over. So I have to find something to do with those. 2 skeins might make a tank top. Yeah, I have to think about that. That would be a nice tank top for summer. Yeah. So actually that was Joji. This next one is Joji Locatelli, and so is the next one after that because of her knit along. And if you haven't done her knit along in the past, it is fun. And you have to sign up for it. It is a little different than some of the other ones. And you sign up for it in August and knit through September, October, November. So she did like little challenges throughout, and she released her, and I haven't blocked this and I don't know if I will, it's called the Free Cowl, I think. And that was for the challenge. And the goal was to knit it for free. So the pattern was free, and to use yarn you already had in stash to finish it. And some of you have been around for a while or have watched back episodes might notice this. These are the leftover yarns from my Comfort Feed Cardi that I did a couple springs ago. And so it's Cascade Wave in the, it was DK or worsted weight, worsted, I think. And I just worked with 2 or 3 bits of the leftovers until they were gone, and I set them up so they would still have a bit of a fade to them. And this is a great cowl. And, you know, it's just a single cowl with a lace pattern. It's cozy. I love the colors. I may have commented on here before, I love orange, but don't wear it really well. And so I made it so it is a red or orange, which is better for me. But I made it so that I could have the blue and green closer to my face and the rest down further, so it didn't impact my skin tone as much. And it is just a great little free pattern, which is pretty amazing. And it didn't take any time at all to knit. I was like, how quickly it went. Like, I could knit more of them for Christmas gifts still if I wanted, if I didn't have a million things already to do, but I love the colors. I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah. And this FO is Pure Joy. And I think I had just started the green part when we were last speaking, when I last recorded. This is pretty amazing. This is the winter set I got last year in my winter box from Pretty Little Yarns. And I think she dyes as well. And I think it's Pretty Little Dye Works is what she calls that. Her dyeing brand. And this is Winter Sunrise and Forest Pathways is the green. And it's a 75-25, I think. But I just love the way it looks in this, the contrast and the brightness. I'm pretty excited about. I haven't worn it yet because I blocked it and saved it for, that's the hard thing. You make all these things and then when you don't podcast for a while, all the things are in your podcast basket waiting. But this is, again, another gorgeous wrap. It's just going to be so cozy around the neck. And I love the colors. I just love these colors. So it's another FO. So then, I've told you all that I have 4 adult children who are all knit-worthy. And our youngest son, I think I just mentioned a bit ago, is in Jasper. And he'll be there for Christmas. And just before I was leaving for New Brunswick at the beginning of the month, I get a message. Or he may have even called. If he called, that's serious. Like, that's a serious request. Mom, can you do me a hat, mitts, and scarf? Well, he goes, really, I need 2 sets of hats, mitts, and scarves. And I need 1 pair of wool socks for my roommate. And I'm a sucker when my kids think my knitting is worthy to give to their friends. I said yes. Promptly got on the plane, went to New Brunswick, thought, oh, I'll pick up yarn while I'm there, which I did do, but I just didn't get them started till I got back. There was too much going on. It was too busy. So yeah, they still are not finished. December 21st. I live in Ontario. Jasper is several provinces away and hard to get to on a good day. And I'm pretty sure the post isn't any better than anything else. But the socks are done. Thank goodness they only had to be a size 9.5. I won't put them both on blockers. I'll just do the one on the blocker. This is the other one. It's a vanilla fish lips, kiss heel, wedge toe. Excuse me. This is a Paton's Kroy from my stash. I did these on Magic Loop. Actually did these on my Addies. I have Addie Rockets. Did these on those. And yeah, so they're done. And then remember, 2 hats, 2 mitts, 2 pairs of mitts, 2 scarves. So I have 2 hats. They haven't been blocked yet. And they're just the classic, I think it's called the classic Beanie maybe from Purl Soho. So it's a free pattern, really nice. Oh, the other stipulation has to be woolly wool, which is fine. You know, woolly wool's an easy thing for me. So I got the wool from, I went to Briggs & Little and picked up, I went right to the mill and bought the wool. So this is Briggs & Little Regal in charcoal. And one was to be, he said black, but I don't think anybody ever really wants black. And I don't want to knit with it. So I made the decision it was going to be charcoal, not black. And I have a white pom-pom for one. And the other set was to be black and gray. Or black and actually ice blue was the request. It's a bluey gray. So I have a gray pom for the other one, but I have to block them before I can put the poms on. So this is a great hat pattern, and it's free, and you can see it. Just a nice 4-way crown decrease. Looks really nice. I'm pretty happy about this. This yarn, like it's a little sheer, like when I hold it up, I don't know if you can tell that, but Briggs & Little blooms really nicely when you block it. So this is gonna bloom and soften up a lot, and they'll be great. They'll be perfect because it is really cold where they are, and they're skiing and skating outdoors and doing tons of outdoor activities. So a good woolly hat is probably a reasonable thing to have. Anyways, he requested Thrummed mittens. So I have a pair of Thrummed mittens. These I haven't knit them for a while. I used to do Thrummed mittens a lot, and I haven't done these for a few years. And I love them. This is Briggs & Little Regal again, and 2 strands. So Briggs & Little roving, which is 5 strands of pencil roving. So I just pulled it apart and used 2 strands of the pencil roving for the thrums. And I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. And I don't know, I've been knitting mittens a long time. I don't really use a pattern. I just sort of do them and they work. So I'm pretty happy with those. And yeah, 2 pairs of mittens though, remember? So the next ones I don't have time to do thrum them. So I just double knit them with there's still little bits of things on them, and there's only one done. And there's a mistake right here, but I was up here somewhere when I realized I'd done it. And so I'm not going back. No one else will notice but me. And I love them. And they're just double knit. And with, again, Regal, and this is 2 strands of roving. 2 strands of the pencil roving in, I think it's called sky blue, I'm not sure. And this is how far the other one is. It'll get done today, but it's the 21st, which means it won't get to the post office until tomorrow. And I don't know how many millions of dollars it will cost me to mail this stuff out to him. And I'm pretty sure it won't get there on time. But it's how my life works. Can't do anything about it. They will all be done. I will have sent them. And I really hope they're okay with them being there in time for New Year's instead of in time for Christmas. I can't do anything about that. I have one more finished object. This is like, I know I made it, and I know that I shouldn't say this, but darn, it's cute. So my son's girlfriend, my older son's girlfriend, loves the Nutcracker. And I'm doing Imagine Landscapes Year of the Gnome. So I knit a gnome every month. And I couldn't find specifically a Nutcracker gnome. Like there just wasn't really one, like the ballerina from the Nutcracker. I have a thread sticking out here that needs to be dealt with. But look at her. I'm pretty sure, I think this is Never Not Gnoming. And then I took her braids and made them into little buns. Her little nose. She has very, very skinny arms. She might have been able to have larger arms to suit her body better, but they're perfect. And her little hat. And on the hat, you probably can't see it. In person, you can. The eye cord that goes around the hat, I put held Lurex thread with the yarn, and the same with the tutu. I don't think you can see it really, but it just gives it a little bit of sparkle. And I haven't started it yet, but I'll have it done in time. I'm doing her, so this is the ballerina from the Nutcracker, and I'm going to do her a little red and black Nutcracker soldier guy from the Nutcracker. It'll be cute. You can see my gnome guys behind me they're pretty far back there. You've seen them all. Well, most of those ones multiple times. I've been around. Anyway, I'm not sure what her name is going to be, but she is very cute. And she's very ballerina-y. Yeah, so that's what I've gotten finished. I don't know what's scarier, what I've gotten finished or what I still have on my needles. We'll go through that. We'll just have a look at all my works in progress. And you know what? If I love the feeling that I'm talking to someone, which is what makes me do this all the time. And so if that's not your jam, that's okay. Like, you know, we all like different styles of podcasts and vlogs, and that's fine. But this is what I feel. I want to feel like I'm talking with a friend. And you guys out there in YouTube land, I hope you feel that you're sitting having tea and knitting with a friend too. So I should talk about what I have on, because I do have on sweatpants, but let me see if I can do this without making too much noise. And I am wearing my Autumn League pullover. I'm pretty sure you've seen it on the podcast before. I love this little detail. This is by Two of Wands. It has a split hem. It matches my Roots sweatpants perfectly. It is just as comfortable. I just wear it with a tank top underneath. But I love the little detail. You can buy this as a kit. This is Lion Brand Cotton Jeans is the yarn it's knit in, and they sell the kit. They almost always have the kits. So whenever they have a sale, like watch for it. It's a pretty awesome deal. Even shipping to Canada is not too bad. I don't know what their worldwide shipping is like, but it is cozy. It's the perfect around the campfire sweater. It's like I throw it on over my pajamas in the morning. Like I wear this a lot, and it is really, really comfy. And today I'm wearing it with sweatpants, which is perfect. And I've seen quite a few people knit it. So this you've seen before, this lovely basket of yumminess. I have not touched this in weeks. This is my Stephen West Twist and Turns for the Cowl. I'm a little afraid to pull it out because I know at some point the needle got pulled a little bit. Well, it looks like all the stitches are still on. It's a thing. Let's see if I can open it out a bit. I don't know, clue 3 maybe? There's no spoilers anymore because everybody else is done or in the same place I am, seeing everything, and I am loving it. Like, it just requires a little more headspace, and it isn't portable. So I need to work on, maybe once I get all this Christmas knitting done, I will feel like I think I have one or two rows left to do on this section, and then I have to do the same thing on the other side. This is all Cascade 220. and Cascade Wave are the colorways. I'm just looking for a tag. Oh no, Cascade Heritage and Cascade Heritage Wave. There's not a lot of the Heritage Wave in here. It's the pop. It's going to be gorgeous when it's done. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do it right to pattern or not. I've seen a few people who've done some modifications at the end and I like them. So when I get that far, I'm going to make a decision. But I do really like the way the colors are coming together. And you know, it could be done. I think sometimes with a big project like this, when you put it down for a while, the problem is not that you don't want to knit it. It's that you need more brain power to figure out where you're at and to get back into the role of doing it. And that's what I'm doing right now, just trying to get back into the swing of it. What else do I have going on here? Oh, this is a combo bag. This is in my 2 Sticks and You bag. And in here, I was teaching how to make these to some people. So they're in various stages. This is almost knit. And here's a finished headband. And this is just one of those headbands where you knit a tube and then sew it together in a fancy way. And I don't have a pattern, I just do them. This is, oh, that's not bad. 40 stitches, 18-ish inches, and go for it. This is what it looks like when you're done knitting, but haven't sewn it together. And this is it in progress. And I'm gonna say these are probably 5.5 or 6 mil needles. Let me take this off because it's warm in here. 5.5 or 6 mil needles, and it's just on a, you know, a little 12, 14, 16-inch needle, whatever it is. And you just go round and round and round. Again, perfect mindless knitting, waiting room knitting, car knitting. But I was teaching this to a couple of people who wanted to learn how to do it. And so I had them in different stages so they'd be able to see what it looked like. And again, this is Paton's Classic Wool in Magnolia is the colorway. And this is 100% pure wool. And I like it. They're fun. Maybe not the colors I would choose for myself, but I wanted something that was a fairly light base. And I think this might be the second skein. Yeah, I've done 2 skeins worth to get as far as I am. So I've gotten 3 so far out of 2 skeins. And I have, I don't know, maybe enough left to do another one, I'm not sure. So those are always fun to make, and they're quick, and they're also, they're good to donate. Even in wool, if you donate something like that to someone who is, you know, some of the organizations who work to keep people warm on the street, the wool will keep them warm. You don't have a lot invested in them. They didn't take you that long to knit. And so if something happens to it and it gets shrunk by accident, they've been warm for quite a while. And because wool is naturally odor and dirt repellent, they also don't get as, here's the word, they don't get as grotty looking as maybe some other fibers would. And you know what? You need something that's warm. A sec, I need a little sip. It's a new mug too. I have water in it just because my water is in a Coors Light glass, and I, didn't think we needed that on the podcast. But this is little cable knitting, and I got it at the dollar store. I thought it was very cute. It's perfect for my London fog or a latte in the morning, or my water while I'm on the podcast. Okay. This is a sock you saw in progress already once, and I'm on to the second sock, and I have cast it on, and I am working on it. So this is from my Operation Sock Drawer project. These also require a fair amount of headspace to work on. You can see the toe. It's an interesting heel construction. It's all done in the increasing in pattern to get the heel, and then you turn it in salt and pepper. It isn't blocked yet, but I really like them. They're fun. And this is on my Flexi Flips, and I think these ones are either 2.75 or 3, but I'm not very far, just past the, little bit into the, past the cuff. And these are in Superba Premium, which is a commercial sock yarn. I'm doing from, and I've talked about it on other podcasts, so you can check it out. And like, this is probably July, maybe September, August or September, but I'm way behind on these socks. I was doing a really good job of keeping up, and then, life happened. I spent a month in New Brunswick. So 12, it was like a mystery box. You got 12 packages to open, and one each month. And it was the yarn and what pattern you were doing each month. And they're nice. It's from Operation Sock Drawer, the Operation Sock Drawer book. And I think it's the Knitmore girls maybe who did that one. Yeah, and it is in my Dolphina sock bag. I love these little cubes. I have a couple of them. You'll see the other one in just a second because I've got socks in it too. Which socks are in here? Oh, this is another pair of, so this was my plain knitting to come back from New Brunswick, because I don't like, I love my Chowgu needles, do not get me wrong, but I don't want them getting taken away at the airport. And because they're a bit pricey, right? Like, they're an investment. So these are on, these are actually Chowgus as well, but they're wooden needles. And this is just a commercial sock. Yeah. Paton's Kroy. Oh no, these are Hiya-Hiyas. Sorry, I fibbed. These are Hiya-Hiyas US 1 2.25 6-inch 5 needles in the set. And it's just a commercial Paton's Kroy. It is called Cadet Colors. Oh, that shows you, it sort of shows you what the patterning does. Yeah. These are a little heavier weight than, so some of Paton's Kroy is what I would call a true fingering, and some is closer to sport, and this one is closer to sport. So they knit up pretty quick. And this was my airport / plane knitting, and I'm really glad I had it because my flight was delayed 4 hours. And yeah, if you have a book and knitting in the airport and you can find a quiet corner to just do your thing, life is good. So that is another work in progress. Also in a Dolphina sock bag. This one is Buffalo Plaid. Oh, these are my Advents. And this is, ooh, I do most of Imagined Landscapes Cowls. She does the gnomes, hence, I mean, these are just my, I don't know, let's see if I can, there they are. If you get really close, you can see them better. The one with the green and yellow stripes was last year's December Cowl. And I'm doing this year's. I'm so far behind that it's, unless you're also far behind, I'm not worried about spoilers because I am insanely far behind. I don't even remember the order of the bits. So this is the first thing we did, a little scarf. I love these colors. I picked them, I should love them, right? Then I have a little, I think it's a hat. I haven't steam blocked this yet or tacked it down, but this is a little satchel. The flap keeps popping up because I haven't blocked it. This, I'm not sure what it is, but it was interesting to knit. And I do these on my, these are my Knit Picks needles. There's 2 sizes. I have a feeling I just always knit mine on the same size, and I think these are 2.25s. I'd have to double check. And these are the colors I am using. Oh, I also have a beard. So all these little pieces aren't sewn together yet. I have a beard. It's really a mystery. These are the colors. This is a white. This is a light gray, which you can't really tell in this light. Darker gray, kind of like buffalo plaid kind of colors, and a icy blue. And yeah, so when I get a minute, I'm gonna catch up on this, and it doesn't take very long to catch up. They're little tiny clues. I just need to get this stuff that has to go to Jasper done. And they are living in a little bag with mushrooms on it. And I don't, this came with a yarn set, and I don't even remember, might have been Ginger Snap. I can't remember who I got it from. But that's exciting. And then I'm doing 2 sock Advents. I don't have an Advent calendar. I'm just doing knitting things for Advent. And these are my Grinchmas socks from Timber Yarns. And it came with 2 50-gram balls. Just pull them both out here. It's already split, 2 50-gram skeins and 2 minis. And it is feeling very Grinchy, which is kind of fun. And I did one with Papa Green, red cuff, green heel, red toe. And the other one will be the opposite, Papa Red, green cuff, red heel, green toe. So I'm the same place on both of them, and that's day, I think I'm done day 17. I love her colors. Like, I just love them. And the idea is you knit a stripe a day. And the good news is you can catch up and still be done in time for Christmas Eve. And if you're not, don't worry about it. They came with this very, very cute stitch marker. And also, Timber Yarns, the yummiest hot chocolate. And then there were mint truffles. I took them with me on the plane to New Brunswick because, of course, I had to take all of this stuff with me. And ironically, I kept up pretty well while I was there. It was when I got back here that I haven't been doing such a good job. So that's Grinchmas from Timber Yarns. She does amazing self-striping, and you can go, she always has some stuff in stock. And yeah, well worth having a look at. And I'm gonna link everything below anyway. This is, oh, Area 51 Christmas, no, tea with the Bridgertons. And it came with this 250 yards, 50 gram skeins, and this mini. And I added a bare mini just to flush it out. And I'm at the same place, day 17. So I guess I haven't knit on them since Friday, which isn't that bad. The first one's was on my flexi flips, and this one is on 9-inch circulars. I really love these colors. They're not me, so I think they'll probably go to my son's girlfriend. She's very knit worthy. And again, I just did the pop of color, and then I used the cream for the cuff, and then the heels and toes will be the lavender. And that means I should have enough. And this is just a, I don't know if it's Fish Lips Kiss or Shadow Wrap, probably Fish Lips Kiss heel, but a short row heel. Anyway, I was gonna do an afterthought and then got to it and started knitting and went, oh yeah, I was gonna do an afterthought heel, and now I've started it, so it isn't an afterthought anymore. So those are all the things, except for my comfy, I have a Cozy Memories blanket on the needles as well, but I haven't worked on it for quite a while. It's really sort of a wintry project because it is quite heavy when you're knitting on it. So yeah, I don't knit on it through the summer. It's a bit too heavy. But so that gives you an idea of what I'm working on. So then the next thing is all the stuff I've acquired since we last chatted. And it is a bit ridiculous. Like, it was all thoughtful things, and most of it has projects in mind for it. And I know it will all get used, and yeah, all the things. But it just, when you put it all in one place, it just feels a little bit cray-cray. So I'm gonna pull this chair closer that has my basket of acquisitions on it, and we will go from there. So, I'm gonna start with this one that's on the table just so I can sort of move it out of the way so I have a bit more space. I was on Marketplace on Facebook because that's where everyone looks for yarn, isn't it? And there was someone who was doing some distashing, and I'm pretty sure it was out of like someone's grandma's stash or something like that. But there were 6, no labels, no nothing, 6 balls of this, which the woman said she thought was wool and mohair. I don't know. It's fuzzy. I guess there's probably a test. If you know of a way to test what it is, let me, I guess maybe if I burn it, it will smell like burning hair, right? If it's wool and mohair. And 6 balls of this. And I don't know, I haven't weighed them. I'm not sure if they're 50 gram balls, or I paid for the whole, I paid, I think, $12 for everything I've got in this lot. So 6 gray, it feels kind of squeaky, which is weird to me, but the white doesn't. 6 gray, 6 white. This knot of fiber that does smell a little woolly, and this knot of fiber. So I think for this fiber, I'm gonna see if I can felt it, and that will tell me if it's actually wool. Feels a little bit scratchy, but not crazy scratchy. Who knows? But I figured for $12, and I drove 15 minutes to pick it up. That's probably not unreasonable. you know, everyone should have some mystery yarn. And mystery fiber, I'm not even a spinner, but I do some needle felting. But everyone should have some mystery things in their stash. So I'm kind of excited about that. I'm gonna do some investigating to try and figure out what it is, because worst case scenario, you know, it goes into some toys or something and it'll be fine. And that's fine. So then the next thing is like it didn't come in time. So then I had to do another order. So you hear me talk about Briggs and Little all the time, but another yarn, and I don't even know who spins their yarn or who does it, but there used to be a organization in New Brunswick, a company called Cottage Craft. And you can, and I used to knit with their wool a lot as a young person, like I had, and you could get wool and fabric, like yarn and fabric that match. So I would have like a hand, I'm pretty sure the fabric was hand woven. And like I had, this makes me sound old, really old. I would have like skirts and the sweater would match the skirt. Like I would do a cardigan to match the skirt. I wore them to work when I was like in my 20s. Worked in an office. Anyway, I decided that's what I wanted to do my Stephen West knit along with. So I ordered it in lots of time. Didn't anticipate, I wonder if they die to order or I'm not sure what goes on. It's obviously not their regular gig anymore, but it is still beautiful wool. It is fingering weight. So I had two, this is Blackberry, which if I hold it right there, you can sort of see. And this is Passamaquoddy. It's just I think there's some grass or something I just saw there. You can pull that out. You always should have some vegetation with your knitting. Oh, that's better. Passamaquoddy, which is a body of water. Passamaquoddy Bay is a body of water off St. Andrews, New Brunswick, which is where their store was originally located. Blackberry. And this probably has a fancy name, but basically it's bear. So it was going to be a beautiful, so I have two of each of these and one of these. This was going to be a beautiful shawl. I don't really need two twist and turn shawls. So I'm thinking this might now become a half and half triangles wrap. These two. And this will just get used in a hat or somewhere. Like I know I'll use it. It's, you know, it's pretty, it can't be in socks, but it can be in lots of other things. And it is pretty, it's pretty soft. I can handle a fair amount of woolly wool, so I'm maybe not the best person to ask. It would have been a gorgeous half and half, or twists and turns, but it'll be a gorgeous something else. And because I was ordering from them, I also bought a couple of patterns and a few other things, and I don't know if it was because it was coming late or what, but they knew I'd ordered the patterns, and so these were in the, I don't know what they're called, but they are pretty colors. And they would make a gorgeous colorwork hat or any number of things. These are more worsted weight. Oops, sorry, I'm shaking the table. Yeah. So, and it's wool I love, so I was sad that it didn't come, but then I did pick up the Cascade for my twist and turns at La Violette in Bucktush when I was down there. So, you know, it's all win-wins. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit in your stash. And then I went to, or no, this is ordered. I love ordering from Area 51. So Area 51 is my tea with the Bridgertons Advent socks, but this is their fall rainbow colorway. Look at that. I love it. I'm happy to order a single skein from them. I did pick up a mini to go with it. $5 shipping. Like they, you know, it comes all squished in vacuum packed. And your ball band is like just flat in there with everything else. This is on their Sturdy Alien base, which is an 80/20 merino nylon. I really like it. I really like their yarn. Comes pretty quick. They do dye. Most of their stuff is dyed to order, but it still comes fairly quickly. It came quicker than my cottage craft, which I love and would wait for again. But yeah, and it's Canadian company, so, and when the shipping is reasonable, I'm always happy to support. I mean, I understand that shipping is what it is, but it makes it hard to buy small quantities, and you don't always need, you know, a big quantity to justify the extra shipping. So I just weigh that off. So that was ordered. And then I'm going to show you some of the things I got while I was either in New Brunswick or in my on my way home thing. So this is from my October. So I went to Briggs and Little in December, and I'm not even showing you that yarn because you've seen most of it. The charcoal for the mittens. I do have a little bit more to do scarves. And I picked up a few bits and bobs. I always have a lot of Briggs and Little in my stash because it is my favorite yarn. But when I was in New Brunswick, I normally go to Cricket Cove in Fredericton, but there was King's Woolens, is also a yarn shop in Fredericton. And I thought, you know what? I go to Cricket Cove all the time. I'm going to check out this other place. It was a bit tricky to find. Like, it wasn't the easiest place in the world to find, but it's in a mall. And I was like, finally I called them. I was wandering all over the mall looking for it because it's like a little hole in the wall in the mall. And I probably walked by on the other side of the aisle looking at something else and just missed them. But they have a really interesting collection of things in there. There's some hand-dyed yarns, a lot of Briggs and Little, and a lot of commercial yarns that you just don't see everywhere. So I'm just going to show you what I got. I got this Christmas yarn. This is Flotte Sock. I'm pretty confident it's from Germany. Yep. It's 75 virgin wool, 20 polyamide, 5 polyester, 420 meters per 100 grams. And look at the sparkle. So I haven't knit with it yet. There was intentions to get some of this knit up before Christmas, but it didn't happen. But there, Christmas is next year too. So that's going to be fun. And I picked up some Durasport, which is Briggs and Little's fine sock yarn. And having said that, it's not fingering, it's probably sport. Oh yeah, Durasport, that would be a clue that it's sport weight. It does make a nice sock though, and they're pretty durable, and I have 2 shades of gray and this pink. And I don't even know if it tells you. Rosewood, smoke, and oatmeal. Yeah, knits up really nicely. Great to wear. You can wear these in socks or in, like, I wear them in my Blundstones. You can wear them in your winter boots, whatever. My dad, and in the last podcast I was talking about fixing socks for my uncle. My dad and my uncles would have worn the worsted weight version of these in their work boots and things in the winter. If you're working outside, that's great. For most of the things we do in our lives, we don't need worsted weight wool socks. These would be fine, and they're pretty tough, pretty rustic, soften up a lot when you wash them. We are all spending all this time being very careful. I'm pretty sure my mom throws them in the washing machine. I think she maybe doesn't put them in the dryer, but I don't know because my mom puts everything in the dryer. So I wouldn't put them in the dryer, but I'm pretty sure she might. I know at least one of my uncles puts his on sock blockers every time, like they get washed in the washer, and then they go on sock blockers to dry. But it's pretty durable stuff. Worth darning because it's well made. Like the socks I've been fixing for my one uncle, who knows how, well, my grandmother has been gone for 10 years or more. So she probably hasn't had socks made for him in 15. And I'm fixing the worst ones. So he's got newer ones. And those socks are probably 20 years old. And yeah, he wears them every day. So that was, you know, they're worth fixing. And then I also picked up the lady who owns King's Woolens, does some dyeing. And I picked up one of her skeins just because it was sunshiny and fun, and I really liked it. It caught my eye. And this one is merino, nylon, and bamboo. So that's an interesting blend. It'll make a nice, it's fingering weight. It'll make a nice summery sock. The merino will help it hold its shape, and yeah, the nylon will make it durable. They're just fun. It doesn't even have a color name. I don't know if she does. I think she dyes more for fun than as a commercial endeavor. And I think that she, I don't know if she can repeat her colorways or not. So they don't have names, but this is pretty summer vibes. It will give you happy feet for sure. So those are the things I bought at King's Woolens. Then the next stop on my way home from New Brunswick was Yarn It. And I should have looked this up. I'm not sure where Yarn It is. I'll put it down below. You'll be able to go see them. I'm thinking Kingston or Brockville. Maybe Belleville. Somewhere over there. Somewhere the other side of Toronto. But it was their grand opening weekend. So I thought, oh yeah, that's a good reason to stop there. Because what I did was I plotted all these places that were along my way. And I looked at how easy they were going to be to get to and get back on the highway, what time of day I was going to be there, because I normally drive from here in Southern Ontario to Quebec City, and then Quebec City to my parents, and then reverse it on the way back. But my uncle wasn't well. My dad's sister lives in Quebec City. My uncle wasn't well, so I just stopped in on my way back for a quick minute. I was there just after lunch. I just stopped in to say hi, drop off some things I needed to drop off at their place, and I kept going to Cornwall. So I knew it had to be and I got up relatively early to get going. So I needed to make sure I was going to be able to be there when they were open, basically. And yeah, so I will tell you where it was because I can't remember because I can't. It was so much fun. It was, I stepped in the door and someone greeted me and said, "Thank you for coming." And I just thought like, wow, that really feels nice. And I bet if I lived in that community, it's the kind of place where if you went in regularly, you would see the same people over and over again. And that's just fun. And it was a really nice mix of commercial yarns and things you don't see very often. That's where I got the West Yorkshire Spinners gingerbread colorway. And yeah, just things that my little yarn shop doesn't always have. So that's what I looked for when I went there. I didn't want to get things that I could get at my yarn shop. I wanted to get things I hadn't seen before. And that doesn't mean my yarn shop doesn't have them. It just means I didn't see them there. So I did get this, which is, look at this. Look at how. So it's Regius Sharp sock yarn. It is, let's see, 150 grams, 375 meters, so it's definitely DK, but 150 grams, so lots for a good sized pair of socks. It is, I have to find a language I can read, 70 wool, 25 polyamide, and 5% viscose. Feels a little woolly, like Regal often does. So I'm pretty excited to make a pair of socks with that. I think I got 2 of them. If I can find the other one in, we'll come to it. And then I got 2 more, and I mean, I know these look a little bit like the other one I got, West Yorkshire spinners. This one has sparkle, and it's Fairy Lights sparkle. And this one is Candy Cane, which you can see for sure. So, you know, I didn't get them done this year. So next year, everyone's getting Christmas socks. It's pretty exciting. This one has almost got the, like, it's just very pretty. And these are 100 grams, 400 meters. Traditional sock 4-ply, 35% blue face luster, and 75-23 2 and 75-25. I think the 2%, the polyester, must be the sparkle, because this one's a 75-25 without the sparkle. So those are pretty exciting. And oh yeah, here's my other ball of the gingerbread. And I haven't weighed it, but I think I probably have enough from the first pair of socks that I made for really large feet. I probably have enough left to make a pair of shorties for one of the girls, because they like shorties. So, because I normally from 100 grams can get 2, as long as I do contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs, which I didn't do in that one. But if I did contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs in the shorties, I would be able to get them out for sure. Oh, and I got the Regia DK in this color. It doesn't, you know, it is the beautiful color 00090, which, you know, is our favorite color of all time. But it has, look, blue, beige, little cranberry blips, has lots of blips in it. And this one too is a 70-25-5, with I think the 5 being the blips. And then there was this lovely dyer, Sorzelin. I'll hold that up for you. I'm not sure if you can see it. Anyway, I will link her down below. She had a little pop-up at the opening, and this colorway is called Unknown. Yeah, it doesn't have the name on it. It's fingering, and it's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. Yeah, the colorway's not on it, but I love I'm assuming it's gonna be a striping, and I love the color of the mini that goes with it. That's beautiful. And the bag is now empty. And there was also a pop-up of a lovely bag maker, and I got this Alice in Wonderland bag, and it's Wild Strands is the bag maker. It has a nice handle, and inside there's pockets. And it's just a nice, good size zip bag, shawl size maybe. And a drawstring. But I liked it because it was Alice in Wonderland. It's very cute. So I got that. I don't buy a lot of bags. I make some of my bags, but I haven't made any lately, and I use, you know, I have my Cozy Memories blanket is in a bag from Twining's Tea, because, you know. Then my next stop was the Knitting Loft in Toronto, and that was a bit overwhelming. Like, they were busy. They had all kinds of things in there, and so I wandered for a bit, and then I went, okay, I'm just gonna buy a great skein that I love. And I did, and then at the checkout, they had these little stitch stoppers. These ones are Fox and Pine, which is crazy, right? Because I'm pretty sure she's in Prince Edward Island, and I drove from New Brunswick to Toronto to buy them. But little penguins, they're fun. And then I bought this, a skein of La Bien-Aimée, and it is their merino singles. It's 100 grams, 400 yards, 366 meters, and the colorway is Tang. And I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it, and I already said I can't wear orange, but I love it. This is more of, like, it's a peachy, reddy, there's lots of red and pink. It's just gorgeous. I don't care. I don't care if it's not great for my skin. It feels amazing and it's beautiful. So that's what I bought there. You know, and there are so many things in there, but I didn't have any projects in mind, and they just had such beautiful, like, I'm pretty sure they had Knitting for Olive. They had like all these amazing European brands that you just can't find everywhere, but I didn't have any projects in mind. So rather than being irresponsible and mindlessly adding to my stash lots of things, I added one thing, which I'm sure I'll find something wonderful to do with, which is fine. Yeah, and then I got back, and one of the young women I support she really wanted to go to Paris, Ontario, which is the home of Mary Maxim. So I said, yep, we should do that. So we did that one day. She wanted, and ironically, this is how it works. We went because she was looking for something very specific, which we didn't find. But of course, I was there, so I needed to pick up a few things. And I mean, legitimately things I was looking for, so that's fine. I did pick up these zebra stripe Paton's Kroy, which I think will make a fun pair of socks. And I picked up a couple of skeins of, these were in the bargain room. If you've ever been to Mary Maxim in Paris, Ontario, they have a, I don't know, a bargain room, discount room, I'm not sure what it is. And lots of it is like ends of lots or discontinued yarns or a variety of things. I'm just looking for the content on this. I'm not seeing it. 75-25 wool nylon. I just got two solid colors that I thought I would use. Either I could make socks out of it, but both good colors for heels, toes, and cuffs. And I don't know, it's some random brand. I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine. And because, you know, sometimes we end up being a bit ostentatious or snobby or something about our knitting needles. I wanted a set of size 0 2mm 9-inch circulars, and I should have bought two of them, because you'll see it was like $8 at Mary Maxim for these unique brand ones. And as the gal at the yarn counter said, they're cheap and cheerful and they do the job. They might not feel as good, but I wanted to try them because I do teach, not in a professional way, but lots of people ask me to teach them how to knit. And so I don't know how you say to someone, yeah, these are great needles, but they're $30 or they're $25 or whatever. But when you say, like, if you want to try this, try it on these. And then if you love it and you want to have a better tool for the job, then spend the money. For me, it's worth every cent to have good tools because I knit a lot, right? Like, I don't want my hands to be sore. I don't want them to break. I don't want to have to guess whether it's accurate or not. But at the same time, there's something about things being accessible that is really, really important, because we can take our craft and make people feel like it isn't accessible if we aren't using things that are at a different price point. I knit all kinds of socks where I pay $20 or $30 for the wool that goes into the socks. And I'm okay with that, because I look at it that if I went to a movie, I'd probably have to pay $14. And then I spend twice that amount of time knitting a pair of socks, and I get just as much enjoyment out of it as I do going to the movie. And sometimes I take my socks to the movie to knit them, but not everyone is at that place yet. They maybe don't feel they're at the level where they should be spending that much. But I also know that if you have like this versus this beautiful skein of hand dyed are very different price points. Well, not really. They're not hugely different, but they are quite a bit different. The socks are just as wearable either way. The ability to put them on your feet is the same. You choose to spend the extra money because for a bunch of reasons. You want to support the maker. You love the vibrant colors. You want that really high quality wool, whatever it is, but it doesn't make the craft any less important. And I always say buy the best you can afford, and the most expensive isn't necessarily the best. Every wool, every task has a material that is right for it, and that's what you should have. I'm working with a couple of ladies right now who I'm wanting to learn how to knit socks. And they said, oh, what do you knit socks on? And I mean, you guys saw my whips. I have a pair on DPNs. I just finished a pair on Magic Loop. I have 2 pairs on Flexi Flips. And I have a pair on 9-inch circulars. I use different things literally whatever I feel like that day, or sometimes it's whichever needles are empty, that's what I use. So I'm going to try these, because if someone wants to try 9-inch circulars, this is accessible. That's just my little commentary today on, things. Now, having said that, the next batch of yarn that I bought, like, this is ridiculous, people. I am sorry. If you don't want to watch this, like, I'm so sad you're leaving, but I understand. I picked up, so Knit Picks was having a sale. And you need to rescue that yarn, because otherwise it will just languish in their, let me find all the colors that I have. It will just languish in their warehouse. And like, we should not leave any yarn to languish in the warehouse. So I want to do the cargo cowl. So I have multiple balls of these, but just so you can see what I got. So I got these 3 colors of gloss, which is 70% merino wool, 30% silk, and they're 50-gram skeins, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 50 grams, 220 yards. So I got these 3 colors, and then I got these 3 colors. They're pretty darn close to go with them. So the pairings are Kenai in a loft and Kenai in gloss. And this one is Pine in gloss. And this is Labyrinth in a loft, so it's a bit darker, but it'll be nice. And this is, I'm pretty sure this one's Blackberry. Blackberry and Eggplant. So it's a bit brighter. The mohair's a bit brighter than the, so those are gonna make gorgeous cargill cowls. And if you haven't seen that pattern, it's Rebecca Clow, I think her name is, the Crayabea. It is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. And worth having a look at. And this all started because some friends and I are doing a knit along together of the Ziva top. I think I have the pattern printed out right here. Let's see if I can find a picture. It's black and white, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. See, it's an A-line t-shirt with a lace pattern down the side, which is just, it's gorgeous. Anyways, we're casting that on in the new year. And I wasn't sure what I was going to make it with. And Knit Picks was having a sale. So I got some Comfy, which is 75 Pima cotton, 25 acrylic. And this color is Holly Berry, which is pretty. And I also got some Lindy chain. And this is 70% linen, 30% Pima cotton in navy. I still haven't decided which one I'm going to use, but I have enough of both, of either one of them to make it. Maybe I'll make two. They're both pretty colors. Yeah. So, you know, Knit Picks was having a sale. What else can I do? And then, I don't even remember. Oh, was it on my way back from the airport? Oh no, for my other job, I had to go on a bit of a road trip to Guelph. And so I thought, ooh, I've ordered from the Galt House of Yarn lots of times, but I've never actually gone into the store. And I thought, I'm going to be close. So now's the time to do it. And I talked about this in my last podcast. My cousin in New Brunswick does a ton of stuff for my parents, and you know, takes them to doctor's appointments and all kinds of things that I'm just not there to do. And I know she does it because she wants to, but I also really, really appreciate that she does it. And she had asked me if I would knit her a pair of mittens like our grandmother used to knit, because she's worn her last pair. And as I said, my grandmother's been gone for 10 years and she probably didn't knit for 5 years before that, maybe more. And, but we all got mittens, and so did our kids. And they were warm, double knit, Briggs and Little, amazing mittens. And so I said, yes, I would do that. And she is always cold and goes to a lot of hockey games and field hockey games. Her kids are grown now, but her daughter coaches the field hockey team at the high school. And they know lots of the kids in the community that are on the various sports teams. So they always go to a lot of those things. So I also knit her a pair of socks. And I wanted to knit her a very nice, very special Cargill cowl. I feel bad talking about it and not showing you, but you can go, it's on Ravelry, you can go see it. So I was going to Galt House of Yarns, and I picked up Sandus Garn Sunday in this color. It doesn't have, they don't name their colors, it's just a number. It's a dusty rose in the tin silk mohair in a pretty similar color. and I made it. It is glorious. This is beautiful. I love it. It is a very special gift for someone who's very special, who I know will take care of it. And I love it. It is for sure a different price point than this was, but that's okay. I wanted this color and to go with her mittens that are a similar color. And so I picked that up there. And then I have been trying, if anybody watches Knitting Traditions, which is Inga, she has a YouTube channel as well. Last year for Christmas, she did several pairs of these felted double slippers, which have a very interesting construction. And I just was struggling figuring out exactly what yarn to use. And this is the yarn that's recommended for it. Sanduskarn, Fritted's garn. And this is a chunky weight, 100% wool. And I picked up enough of this as well to knit them. I think once I knit them in the recommended yarn, I'll be able to figure out what to substitute them for them here. I have a feeling it's going to be 2 strands of Paton's Classic Wool, but I'm not sure. So I did pick that up there as well. And they have a lot of the Sanduskarn yarns, which are beautiful. They also have a lot of other really nice yarns. And I could do some serious damage there, I guess, but you know, I just popped in and I was looking for something very specific and I knew they carried it. So that's why I went there. It was a lovely store. Lots of very nice people. It's well laid out. Like if you get a chance to go, go. If not, shop online. They have some really lovely products there. So that's most of my, oh, one more. I almost am, it's embarrassing. So, who watches the Grocery Girls? And the whole holiday season, right behind Tracy's head, I guess it would be on this side, there are these little trees. They had them last year too. They're sort of a creamy pink. They're crocheted, I'm pretty confident, and they're handcrafted. And they're lovely little trees. They look pretty easy to do. I sort of did a Ravel research and found some ideas. And I don't think I have the exact pattern, but I have something close. And that's really all I needed. So this was on sale. All of it was. I was at Len's Mills stores. So if you're here in Southern Ontario, you'll know what Len's Mills stores are. They're like, it would never be considered high-end shopping, but you never know what you're gonna find. They have tons of quilting fabrics, a pretty decent selection of commercial yarns, and often it's discounted, discontinued colors, and some of it's just regular things. But it's a little less expensive because they are literally in warehouses. And I mean, they've been around a long time because when I was in university, that's where we used to go to buy fabric at a discount. Yeah, and they're kind of dirty and they're kind of messy and it's a different kind of shopping. Anyways, I picked up 3 different colors of Paton's. These are Canadiana because they were on sale. I'm not a huge crocheter. That's not really my thing, but I wanted to make those little trees. So I picked these up. So that's 3 colors that I think will make kind of fun, modern looking trees. That's the idea. I want that sort of modern Christmas feel, not traditional. And so that's acrylic, 100% acrylic. They also had, because I also needed some craftwood dowels, $1.49. And the trunks of those trees are craftwood dowels in little pieces of wood. So I could get these little cuts of birch branches for $1.69. So I figured that that's a craft I can give a whirl. I don't know, stay tuned in this space to see if I ever get them done. But I want to do them. I also got a wonderful Christmas gift. Get this gorgeous bag from my friend Heidi. I got a chance to see her when I was in New Brunswick this time. I typically, with my mom, we can do an hour or so in a day. And on the day, you know, she does some volunteer things still and other things. So she had a volunteer activity she had to do. So I knew that meant she wasn't going to be able to do any of the cleaning and stuff she wanted help with. So I organized that I could go visit my friend Heidi. And we had lunch and we sat and knit. And we just had an amazing day. Anyways, and we exchanged Christmas gifts. And she made me this beautiful bag. And she does not do them commercially, I don't think. But it says, made with love by Heidi on it, which is gorgeous. And in it was this beautiful skein, all caked up, of Ancient Arts yarn. And this is the French River colorway. French River, Prince Edward Island. It's one of their, they do provincial colorways every month. And this, I think, was November or October. It's gorgeous. In their, I'm pretty sure it's in their on their Sognado base. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited to knit that up. And if you Google French River, you'll understand why it's these colors. There will be a picture of the fishing huts and cottages around the cove. And these are the kinds of colors you're going to see. It's gorgeous. And she put in cable needles and some really cute stitch markers. There's a snowman and some snowflakes and a star. And what else did I miss? Anything? Oh, and those Haya wooden needles that were in my socks were in here as well. And what a great gift. What a great friend. So that was kind of nice to get. And it was the first Christmas present I opened of the season. I'm pretty excited now that I've shown it on the podcast. I can put something in it and start knitting. Well, we're at an hour and a half and you guys don't want to listen to me blither on anymore. I will try and link as much of this craziness as I can. And thanks for hanging out. If you're still here, thanks for being here this long. And if you're not, it's okay. I don't know. So I feel like I'm talking to someone, which makes me feel better. And be sure to comment below. Be sure to like and subscribe. That helps you not miss any of my blethering. And yeah, if you have any questions or you want to know more about something I'm doing, give me a shout. I'm always happy to share and chat with other people. Take care, everyone. Have a merry and blessed Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate. Remember that it's a tough time of year for lots of people. Look out for your neighbors. Look out for your friends. And know that it's way easier to be positive and forgiving than to be grumpy and angry. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday break, whatever you're celebrating with your family. Bye.